This podcast is sponsored by POGO, Property Operations on the Go. Facility managers know how challenging it can be to keep everything running smoothly. That's why POGO was created, a white-labeled software solution designed by property managers for property managers. POGO is your ultimate all-in-one platform for managing multiple assets. With POGO, you communicate with your tenants, manage maintenance requests, control property access, manage bookable spaces, and much more. Plus, with advanced analytics, POGO empowers you to optimize your operations anytime, anywhere. Best part? POGO is completely customizable to fit your brand and business. Simplify your operations, enhance tenant satisfaction, and save money with POGO. Ready to make the switch? Visit gopogo.us to schedule your demo today. POGO, one system, multiple solutions at your fingertips. Mark Befford here, bringing you real discussions with leaders in the commercial real estate industry. I'm excited for today because we're actually going to talk about a product that really makes commercial real estate more productive and really is, I think, a game changer for how we operate commercial office buildings and just real estate in general. So with me here, I have Laura, Taryn, and Jerry. They are the masterminds who make this thing happen on a day-to-day basis. Thank you guys for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into it. Let's talk about POGO. What does POGO stand for?
That is Property Operations on the Go.
Property Operations on the Go. So, and you guys all have a distinct job to really integrate POGO into a particular environment. So, Jerry, you do the marketing, correct?
Yep, sales and marketing.
Yeah,
yep.
And Taryn, you handle the day-to-day operations and the client engagement. Mm-hmm. And then Laura, you handle all the technical aspects of it, correct? Yeah. So let's get into it. What is POGO? What is POGO? Taryn, I'll let you answer. What is POGO?
POGO is a property operations software, white labeled, so that means they put their branding on our product. Mm-hmm. That the operations staff, they use it to run their buildings, and the tenants, they use it as a connection to the operating people within the facility. Access to amenities, lock tickets, join wellness facilities. Basically, it's their access to all the amenities available to them, and then also direct access to the management staff of their property.
Great. So from a technical standpoint, this has got to be a complicated software, and so how do we develop the pieces of the software to ensure that it runs smoothly with a particular tenant?
Well, whenever you're thinking about software, you have to think about who your clients are. So with POGO, you have the tenant, and then you have the property manager, and you're really building for both users, and the users have different user stories and different aspects of how they're interacting with the app itself. So you kind of have in mind you're creating for two different users, essentially. Yeah. A lot of APIs, which are just integrating with different vendors to our software, making sure that everything runs smoothly and everything talks to one another correctly.
So anything, we all see these apps. So we all have a phone. We got all these apps. And we get really frustrated if that app doesn't do what happens. But these apps and these softwares are sophisticated tools, and it takes millions and millions and millions of dollars to create it. But a client could have a bad experience because within a second it doesn't do what it asked them to do. Mm-hmm. That's a challenge. And how do you work through all the bugs to ensure that it operates every second of 24 hours a day?
Well, we have a really great team that's based out of Argentina, mm-hmm. and they do a really good job with us working with all the bug tickets or anything that we have that arises, any issue. They are really quick to resolve anything. We have a really great relationship with our tenants, and anytime there is a bug, they let us know. Yeah. And so we're really quick to resolve it. We work internally amongst the three of us and resolve any issues that they have. And a lot of important with that is making sure that they feel heard in the whole process and making sure that they know what the updates are with any of the issues or any feedback that they have, making sure that they know that we're going to resolve it in a way that's going to not only benefit them, but also any of our future clients as well.
Yeah, great. That's awesome. So, Jerry, you're the guy that's got to convince the client to use this software.
Yes, I am.
Has it been hard?
Everything has its, difficulties. I think the platform is really powerful, and if we're in front of the right people, it'll really sell itself. Post-COVID, as everybody goes back to the office, I think software like this is going to be very important of bridging the gap and building community within office space. So a disconnect between owners, operators, and tenants is really what breaks down a community within a building. This software really helps develop that relationship, cultivate it, and strengthen it, and make that community grow within a building and across a portfolio of properties, really.
Yeah. So let's get into some of the key features of the software. So if you were to identify the main focus on why POGO was developed, why was POGO developed? Tara and Jerry, either one of you guys want to comment on?
It started off first as an opportunity to communicate emergency notifications to all your tenants immediately. Before POGO existed, what you had was a point of contact for each of the tenants in your office, which was the office admin for each tenant office, and you're relying on them to distribute information to the rest of their office. Well, if you have an emergency situation or even something like a fire drill, POGO was created so that the property manager would have direct access to everybody in the property versus having to rely on that stopgate of information. So it started there, and it kind of developed into, even, with our development process, I think what sets us apart is it's made by property managers for property managers.
Yeah, good
so we didn't just build to build, we build at the need of our customers, our clients. So we're very responsive to bugs and complaints, like Laura said, but also in our development process, we take a proactive approach to building something that they need. So from there, we went from emergency push notifications to the ticket system for maintenance tickets. So that's where it started.
So let's talk about that. So we got the notifications, one key element. Let's talk about the ticket. And I think that's also a work order system, right? So if somebody has a light out or they have a leaky faucet or there's a fire, they can then put a ticket immediately on the phone within a period of time, correct?
Yeah, within seconds. So we have, all of that is under the umbrella of our maintenance feature, and we have two types of tickets. You have your one-time tickets where you have a tenant, hey, there's a leak on my floor, or hey, there's a fire, or something like that. And then you also have your recurring tickets. That's work orders related to preventative maintenance. So you have scheduled tickets for your property's largest physical assets, like the air handler units, and it requires maintenance on a regular schedule. And so it creates those, we call them child tickets. So you create a parent ticket, and then whatever timeline you want it to schedule out, it spits out those child tickets. So.
Got it. So how does a client know when you've actually solved the ticket that they've put into the system?
It's a notification process. So whenever they submit those one-time tickets, they have the option to be email notification or a push notification or both. So if as soon as they submit a notification, their engineering staff is notified, the property staff, that a ticket has been submitted to the ticket queue. And then if they start working on a ticket, if they pause the ticket, all those notifications, they're being sent to the tenant. So that's how that communication works. And they can also send a message to them through the product as well, or call them directly through the app. They can upload their phone number in there too.
Got it. So notifications, then we got the work order system / the ticket, and then we get into providing amenities. Jerry, talk to us a little bit about some of the features that resonate with clients on using the system.
Yeah, so when people are going to their building for work every day, you really want to make that emotional journey a positive one. And part of that is providing them with amenities, whether it's a gym or cold plunge or, a spa or whatever amenities your building has. You want them to have access to it, and you don't want them to have to work hard to get access to those amenities. So through the app, it makes it very simple. You pull up your phone, you launch POGO. It's white labeled, so it would be whoever the client is, it would be their own app. And you simply book those amenities, whether you want a cold plunge or pickleball or any amenity that specific building has. The ease of access is very good, and you get right in. It's scheduled. Everybody has access.
Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about the fitness feature on on the app. So what does that entail? Can people sign up for fitness training or particular classes, and
So if
do
you're
they pay for it through the app? How does all that work?
Yeah, so if your building has a gym and you are a tenant within that building, you will be set up for access to that gym membership, whether your office pays for it or you pay for it individually. It'll be set up through the app. You get access to it. You will have mobile credentials to get in and out of the gym. And if there is payment required, you can pay directly through the app because we are integrated with Stripe.
Yeah. So one of the things, when we all get an app, we go, God, I wish it did this, right? And now, as we're into this building of an app with POGO, I kind of understand why sometimes features don't get added that I've asked a developer to add, because everybody has an idea. So how do you make decisions on the next features to add to an app? Because I'm assuming that in an app or a software, the possibilities are endless, but you can't afford to do everything. How do you make those decisions?
So you want to make sure it's going to be scalable for all clients, because as we have encountered, a lot of clients have their own way of doing things, and they ask, I wanted to do this, I wanted to do that, and it's my responsibility to dig deeper and say, okay, why do you want it to do that? Or how does that make decisions easier for you to do something else on this side? So we want to make sure that, we're getting a lot of feedback in, but it has to be scalable so that everyone can use it. And also you got to be innovative enough to know what's around that's in the market, what are our competitors doing, what's going to be coming up next. A lot, like what Jerry said with COVID, a lot of the spaces changed after that, where it became more of instead of it just being more for office spaces, a lot of companies were having this flexibility and like hybridness of you can work anywhere in the office. You can book a space in a coffee shop or anywhere it may be. And so thinking ahead of how the market's going to be interacting with the software and how the market is changing is our responsibility, that way we can introduce features before clients are actually needing it.
Yeah.
So I will say that POGO also has a unique ability to identify needs because of our background. Mm-hmm. So because we have a background in property management, we can anticipate the needs of our clients better than most of our competitors because we understand intimately their day-to-day operations. So we have a roadmap to launch features that make sense for everybody. Yeah.
So in a second, I want to get into understanding who the three of you guys are and your history and how you got here and stuff. But one last question before I get there is, I think there's a feature in there is like asset tracking. Tell me a little bit about why that feature was added. And there's a slew of other features inside the app, but why was the asset tracking feature? Why is that so important?
Yeah, asset management is very important within a building. It is, the vital organs, if you will, of the building. And much like a body, you want to keep those organs healthy and monitored. And so through asset tracking, you're able to improve the efficiency and longevity of each individual asset within the building. And that in turn creates value for that building. Yeah. And it also allows you to schedule and forecast. So anticipate the needs of both an individual building, but also ideally across a whole portfolio of buildings. Yeah. So then you can really focus on where your CapEx spending is going to be going and your forecasting.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So I want to understand a little bit about it. So Laura, let's start with you. So tell me a little bit about your background, where you're from, and how did you get to here today?
Yeah, so I'll bring it way back. I was born in Cuba. And whenever I was 3, my family and I, we moved to Miami, Florida. I was there until I was 12, and then my immediate family, we moved to Oklahoma. So I've been here since I was 12. So it's been around maybe 17, 18 years. Mm-hmm. Grew up in Oklahoma City, and I went to OU for college. And then after college, I worked for a global software company here in town and kind of fell in love with solving problems with software. I actually had a background in psychology. That's what I went to school for. And I was going to be a clinical psychologist until I realized that wasn't the route for me. But in turn, I found out that a lot of people in product management have psychology backgrounds, because you're really thinking about how the user's going to interact with the software, thinking of how, just that user interaction is key with psychology. So yeah, I've been here for 4 weeks now at POGO, and I'm really excited.
Did you ever think that when you went to college that you would be in the tech software world?
No, never.
Yeah, so you wanted to be a psychologist, a counselor, whatever.
Right.
But now you're in the tech world.
Now I'm in tech world, yeah, and I kind of fell in love with just solving. I honestly, I don't know why, but I love problems. Like any kinds of problem, I love solving them, coming up with solutions, and I mean, we're moving in a world where it's more technology driven, and so it just made sense to solve problems with technology, and that's kind of where my love for it started.
So a boomer, an old man like me, that really struggles sometimes with technology. Not really, I'm kind of technology good, but I think of technology as just ones and zeros.
Yeah.
And is that what code is really about, or how is code developed? Are there big algorithms that make all this happen?
It's more like if you think about like if and statements. Like if you do this, this will happen. If this and this happens, but this doesn't happen, this will happen. So that's kind of how it's built on the back end. Yeah. But I mean, yeah, it's not as simple as just zeros and numbers. Well,
Taryn, you started at Robinson Park and at the fitness center. I remember that, and then you left, and then you went in the tech world a little bit, and then we called you and said, "Hey, we're doing some tech stuff here. Yeah. Come on back. Tell us a little bit about your history." And let's go back. So you played tennis.
Yes.
You're a tennis player.
Yes.
Did you play at OU?
No, I did not play at OU. I kind of stopped after high school.
After high school?
Yes,
okay.
Yeah. I was very competitive, though.
Okay, very competitive. And Taryn, you played basketball at the University of Houston, correct?
Yeah, 4 years.
Tell us a little bit about your history.
I played basketball for 4 years. Dream you couldn't pay me to do twice. That's what I always tell people. So I did it and I'm done, happily retired. I had no idea what I wanted to do out of college. And I think now, looking back at the Taryn who graduated from college, I think what's important to me now is who I work for, more than what I'm doing. I feel like everything else will fall into place if it starts with that. So I found Robinson Park in 2018. There was a fitness center being built in Leadership Square, and they needed a gym manager. And I think after my interview, kind of decided Robinson Park wanted a health and wellness department. And I was kind of given the reins to kind of mold that. I was ready, I think, around 2022 to separate health and wellness from, my journey and what I do for a living. So I was able to work for a global company for 8 months in the technology field. It was great exposure, but again, I did not enjoy working for a global company. And so I just went back to what worked for me, and it was working for Robinson Park under you. Yeah. And it was perfect timing because POGO, whenever I left, actually you guys were developing the wellness feature. And when I came back, POGO had become its own entity, and it was exciting. It's nothing like what I thought I would be doing whenever I graduated from college, but it's exactly where I want to be, and it's exciting. It's awesome. All achievable challenges, like Laura was saying.
Okay, I got to ask, can you dunk the ball?
No, I can rebound.
You can
so
rebound.
I have a good vertical, but
have you tried to dunk?
There were a couple guys on the men's basketball team. They tried to put me through some workouts, and they were like, they called me homeschooled because I was homeschooled in high school. They're like, we're gonna get you to dunk homeschool. So I didn't finish their their program.
I
did try.
Did you come close?
Yeah, I can kind of touch the rim, but I can't slam dunk. Yeah.
Well, since both of you guys are really competitive and athletic, I want to see. We need to have a little sporting challenge.
I know, and I don't do tennis.
Well, we ought to have our own little
dodgeball. It is.
Yeah, dodgeball it is. Are you going to join into the dodgeball, Jerry? All right.
Yeah.
This is great. We'll have a competition. So, Jerry, tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, so I am not an Oklahoma native. I'm California born and bred in the Bay Area, primarily from Napa. And I also played college sports. I played baseball down in Palomar and San Diego, and realized pretty quickly that wasn't going to work out for me. So I had to pivot to figure out what I wanted to do. I went to school for marketing and advertising, and which naturally transitioned into sales. Basically, that's what marketing and advertising is. So I ended up working for the same company in Napa for 15 years, and I had a very pleasant experience there. Had great relationships, made lifetime friends through that company, but I had to move because I didn't have really any family out there. My wife is from Oklahoma City, so I've been coming out here for 18 years. I got married out here. I always enjoyed my time here in Oklahoma City, and mainly the people of Oklahoma City is what drew me here from the Bay Area. So we made the decision last year to move myself, my wife, my 2 kids, and my mom. That was the hard part. I had to convince my mom to move to Oklahoma City from the Bay Area. So that was probably the greatest sale I ever made, honestly.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so we got out here, and I started looking into what I'm going to do out here, and this opportunity presented itself, and it was very exciting for me, especially coming from the Bay Area, the land of tech. Working at a tech startup here in Oklahoma really amuses my friends from the Bay Area because they're asking me, what do? I work at a tech startup. And they're like, how? Why?
In Oklahoma?
Yeah, in Oklahoma.
Nothing happens in Oklahoma. You guys still ride horses and buggies.
Yeah, exactly. But I see, Oklahoma City is, I think over the next decade, going to take some really big leaps. And same thing with POGO. We're going to do it in lockstep. And I'm excited to take both those journeys, both with POGO and Oklahoma City.
Well, we're glad to have you. So this is interesting. We have a tennis player, we have a basketball player, we have a baseball player, and I played football in college. So what we're going to do, we're going to have a little competition. We're going to pick 8 events. We'll do tennis, we'll do basketball, we'll do baseball, and we'll do football. And then we're each going to pick another event, and we're all going to compete and see who's best.
Oh,
How would that be fun?
Can we do it after winter is over?
Yeah, no, afterwards. Okay, let's get back in. So POGO, what is its reach right now? What states are you in, and how, and what stages are you in actually selling the product?
So we are currently in 7 states, so we're very much in a startup mode. The plan right now is to really focus on the Midwest. That's where we find our footprint is right now, and we really want to focus on that area because we feel like it's not getting a lot of focus. Since we are from the Midwest, we feel like we are the right company to service the Midwest in each individual state in that region, because we can provide the same type of software and support that these larger coastal companies can, but we give the attention to detail that we feel like you won't necessarily get from those.
Yeah. So what is what's your biggest obstacle you have in somebody actually adopting the product?
I think primarily right now, since we are a startup, the biggest obstacle is awareness of us. Once we get in front of somebody and we can sit down and demonstrate the power of the platform, it really will sell itself. But primarily right now, it's a market that is getting saturated. There's a lot of players that are coming into it. Commercial real estate is a big industry, and I think a lot of people see some opportunity in there. One of the main differences from us versus them is we are bootstrapped. We did it ourselves. We don't really have VC backing, so we are really the underdog story of the industry, and I think people like underdog stories, and I think they're going to like the way this story ends.
Yeah, and the product actually is really not meant to be a hub and spoke product. Yeah, so tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we, one of the key differences between POGO and other players in the market is primarily what you're getting when you sign up for a service is they're going to say, here's your base features that you're going to get. And they're going to say, oh, you want to bookable spaces? They're going to bolt that on. Oh, you want access and security? We're going to bolt that on. POGO is a platform where you get everything that is existing on the platform, but you're also partnering with a company that is constantly optimizing the platform. So as we grow as a company, you grow with us, and we're not going to bolt on additional fees or services down as you travel down the path with us. It is very much a partnership hand in hand with us.
Got it. So Lauren, you're fairly new to POGO, but you've hit the ground running. You're in the middle of it. So what do you think some of the greatest challenges POGO has when it comes to building new features, or really the software itself?
So something that we're needing to integrate immediately will be something within AI. That's something that's almost a requirement at this point with the market. If you don't have something that's AI, then it's almost like you're falling behind. So we're working on that, and that should be coming very, very soon. We're going to have some very nice features that are going to integrate with AI. And I think what we're challenging right now is figuring out what is our true root bread and butter that we can really dig deep on and be like really, really good in one specific area. And we definitely have the opportunity to do that because we have so many offerings. It's just more about what are we going to really hone in on to make ourselves the best in that specific area. And then we'll have just more features that are going to be more attractive that we can have already established within the app. But we're getting there. And then the AI piece is going to be really crucial and really important. Yeah.
Tara, let's talk. This is I don't know the tech world that well, but it's a multi-channel, meaning that it's not only it's an app, but it's a very sophisticated software that drives the data. So a customer actually gets into a software, but then also drives the app to run the day-to-day operations of it. Tell us a little bit about how that works. And it's also Android and Apple product based.
Yes. Right? Yeah. It's available in the Apple Store and the Google Play Store. Okay. And then it's also available on the web and on your phone. So you can log a work order ticket or book a bookable space on the web. There's more functionality as far as analytics and just the setup process for the operational staff. And the tenants, it's more of a convenience thing for them. So the tenants are going to be on their devices booking, purchasing wellness programs or booking sessions with personal trainers available in their property. So theirs is more of a mobile application, but they do have access to, important things like booking spaces and work order tickets.
Right. So you talked a little bit about the analytical piece. Let's dig into a little bit about what type of analytics do you get when you use POGO? Yeah.
So analytics, we're constantly tracking analytics. And so we try not to just throw, analytics just for throwing them just because we're tracking those. So we really are intentional with how we're building out our analytics section. So we have analytics based on bookable spaces. So that's based on space utilization and hours of operation, so they can adjust maybe they need another conference room because it's 100% utilization based on the operating hours, or maybe, hey, we need to dial back on how often this is available because it's just not getting that utilization. So we have analytics for that. We have analytics for the ticket queue. So what's the average cycle time for your property's building engineers whenever they're closing tickets and opening tickets? How long are tickets just sitting in the ticket queue? And then we also have an approval process. So it's related to the bookable spaces and to the maintenance feature. So this is completely optional, but if people in their office want to submit something related to the maintenance or bookable spaces, then they can designate a person in their office to either approve or deny those requests. So we have analytics around that too. So we can point towards, hey, you guys have tickets sitting in your ticket queue. That's why they're not getting pushed to the operational staff to work on these tickets. It's because your tenant admin needs to approve what's being submitted. So we have analytics around that. Then we also have analytics related to building access. So the mobile credential feature that we have. We just released a ton of analytics. Am I missing any other analytics?
Really, the analytics end of this platform, what it does for operators is it allows them to use this as an efficiency tool. So they can go in, analyze the data, and know where to focus their energy or time. But from an owner standpoint, the data and analytics allow you to manage your property or portfolio of properties in both a macro or a micro way. So you can go in and get granular, and you could even use this platform if you wanted to compare and contrast similar buildings. You can compare and contrast how well they're functioning, but also get granular down to the engineers or staff working in that building. Based on the ticket queue, you can look at the ticket data, and you can actually gauge performance of employees within that building. So that's one of the, data analytics is one thing, but it's what you do with those data and analytics is really what makes it a powerful tool.
Yeah.
So this discussion was really good because it really it shows the complexity that's behind the platform, but it also shows the information that you can get and the ease of getting that information. I think is it challenging to start using the platform? Because we all want, like when we want an app, we want to go download, we want to start using it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there is app fatigue is a real thing, and like having people download more apps on their phone is an issue. The good thing about POGO is it was designed to be incredibly user friendly. If you have operated any type of app, you should be able to instinctively navigate through it and log tickets or get in and out of buildings. It's designed. It's a lot of time and money have gone into building this platform to make it user friendly. So I don't foresee people having any issues as far as the functionality.
Okay, good. How hard is it to onboard? So when you, as a building, want to use the platform, how hard is it to actually start using it? How long does it take?
Honestly, the longest part of the process, there's an approval process that happens with the Apple and Developer Program, but we make that really easy as far as getting all the assets that we need from our clients. So logo colors, your actual logo, social media information that will be displayed on their app. So we gather all that information, we submit it to the Apple Play and the Google Store, and we just wait for that approval process. It usually takes around 2 weeks. From there, the only time crunch is just the availability for sitting down and just training them on all the features. And like Jerry said, it's very user friendly, and I think that's because our logic whenever we're developing this product is we'd rather build over buy. Sometimes when you have bolt-on products like our competitors, different features, they talk to each other differently. So since we built everything, it's very seamless. So if you can learn this feature, then more than likely it'll be really easy for you to learn, another feature. And same with enhancements.
Yeah. So that's really good. So I'm going to go back to a couple of statements that have been made. You guys have mentioned white label, and then you talked about logo. Describe exactly what a white label means.
Yeah, I always say a white label is like techie talk for it's a blank slate, and you give us what your company's branding is, and we apply it to the blank slate. So it's all of your branding. You're just stamping your company's branding on our product. So your company, to their knowledge, they have no idea who POGO is. All they see is their property management company has an app.
So it's personalized. It makes them feel like they have their own software. They developed their own software.
Yeah.
So POGO is behind the scene. Again, nobody knows who POGO is.
Correct, yeah.
And we don't care, right?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
And we want our clients to have that type of ownership over it, that we want them to feel like it is their app. That's why we white label this solution, because we can deliver the great thing about the platform is it's fully customizable. So it's white labeled and it's branded to your specific company, but then within the feature set, you can toggle on and off any feature that makes sense for individual properties or your entire portfolio. So it's truly meant to be personalized for our clients.
Yeah. So look, where do you think POGO will be at the end of 2026? Well, what does 2026 hold in store for POGO?
We're going to have 100 million square feet in revenue.
Ooh, I like
is
that.
what we're going to have.
I like that. I like that. That's good.
But was that the goal?
Yeah.
Yes,
100 million.
Yeah.
100 million square feet.
Good.
We are, like they mentioned, we're launching our marketing strategy here in the new year. And so I think that's going to really expose us to other clients and really make our name in the market.
You just started going to market, right? And we're just now in the market. This has been, how long has it been in the development stage?
I mean, it's been like 4 years,
Yeah,
right?
for almost 5 years. Yeah, and we reached a point where we're ready for market. I want to say by the end of this year was our goal, and now we have marketing and sales, and we're ready to kind of launch into 2026.
I think, for 2026, what the plan is to really cement POGO as one of the up-and-coming tech startups of Oklahoma City, and put our roots down and start to really grow.
Has there been, as you developed this product for 4 years, has there been any alternative ideas that have come up that POGO could do outside of just operations for buildings?
I mean, the possibilities are really endless when you're looking at a platform as complex as this. I think it's our job as a team is to define what paths make the most sense for us, because we're a small team, we're a tech startup. We don't want to bite off more than we can chew. But there are some clear defined paths that I think this platform makes sense for. One being hospitality. That's a clear path that we know what our feature set existing now makes perfect sense. If you have like valet, for example, not a ton of Class A buildings have valet, but that is a feature that we do have on our platform. However, when you go to a hotel, almost every hotel has a valet. Yeah. So there's a clear parallel between commercial real estate Class A and hospitality.
Well, let's do this same thing in December of 2026, and we'll see how far we've come.
And then we will also update everybody on who won on the 8-sport competition between us four.
Well, should we place any bets on who's going to win?
Okay.
I'm going to put my money on Darren.
Yeah, I was about to say. I think I'm the tallest here, guys.
Wait, no, but I'm good at like. I'm good too.
This. See, I love
We'll
this.
see.
See the competition. I'm betting on myself, man. I'm not betting on any. I may be 63 and the old man of the group, but I think I can handle any one of you three.
Yeah, figure this
All
out.
right. I love that.
Yeah, I definitely can't throw. You're a pitcher, right?
I mean, I was a second baseman.
Oh, you're second
You can tell
baseman.
by my stature.
Okay,
I was
you're
a
second baseman.
but
Okay.
I am fresh off shoulder surgery, so you guys will have a slight advantage.
Okay, yeah. But you could probably throw better than we can
I
with your left
still
hand.
got it in me.
Yeah, I think you're good. Well, thank you guys for being here.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks. Bye-bye.